Hey there, everyone. This is Ken with MinnoTank, and I'm here with Leo Ramirez, the CEO and founder of Encast. And today we're going to have a quick Founder 5. We're going to ask 5 quick questions about the pitch we just watched. So, Leo, let's ask question number 1. How important is culture in the workforce today?
You know, culture is one of the most important initiatives that every CEO around the world is thinking about. And the reason they're thinking about it is because they want to differentiate themselves. It's relatively easy to differentiate when with compensation, but what really matters is that human connection with others, with your manager, and that's why culture has become so important in the workplace today.
Yeah, understandable. I would agree with that. And so talk to me about how Encast is building a data set. I know that you want to go into big data. Talk to me about the data that you're building with Encast.
So we want to build the world's largest values-based data set. And if you think about how people spend their money and time, it tells you a whole lot about what matters to them. And so we're using that information through philanthropic actions to tap into people's values. And so we believe that by using those values in the workplace and developing workplace environments, like if your employees love the arts, play classical music, or they love animals, do a bring a pet to work day on Friday, it doesn't have to be philanthropic. But building workplace environments and community initiatives around those passions, I think is really important. So, and then we're basically enabling individuals to give wherever they want through our platform. And so hopefully making such an engaging environment, they want to keep coming back. And that's how we anticipate growing our platform.
Yeah, and so to piggyback off of that, off of the data set that you're building, can we talk about how you generate culture? So, creating corporate culture is one of the most difficult things, any company tries to do, because you have a brand, you have a legacy of what you've accomplished, but you also want to make an internal culture that's attractive to stay. So talk to me a little bit about how Encast is generating culture.
So we, again, take this data set and deploy it to every single staff member. And essentially everyone has an influence on culture. So it could also be contractors, it could be board members. So we take that information and we try to find the common ground. So what are the things that your staff cares most about? And you revolve a lot of your workplace initiatives and community engagement programs around those things. So by doing that, you're going to get a much higher engagement rate because people are doing things that they want to do versus things that you want them to do. They're going to make friends around things that matter to them.
Sure.
So instead of doing a 50-person volunteer initiative, there may be a 2 or 3-person volunteer initiative. And those much smaller relationships and easier opportunities to find are going to create that stronger workplace relationship and engagement, which will build that stronger culture.
Got it. So piggyback off that one. So I know that you guys have said in your pitch that you are donation fee free. So there's no donation fees, which in my experience is the first time I've seen this in the industry. I know several different platforms that are playing kind of a little bit in the space that you're playing in, but everyone charges fees on donations. And it's revolutionary, but kind of obvious that you shouldn't charge that. If I want to donate $100 to the American Red Cross, I think that's totally appropriate that $100 should go to them, and you shouldn't try to nickel and dime me there. So talk to me about the motivation behind that and why you decided not to take donation fees.
So I have run 2 nonprofits before starting Encast. In fact, the last nonprofit pivoted into this one, and that experience was eye-opening. A lot of nonprofits are, in fact, I would say most nonprofits are being criticized for how much they spend on administration, which includes transaction fees. And they're struggling left and right. And 90% of all the money that's donated to charity goes to only 10% of nonprofits. So the rest of them are just trying to find every single penny they can to survive and apply toward mission. And we calculated that about $4 billion a year are currently spent by American nonprofits on transaction fees. And I want to give that money back. I want to find a way for that $4 billion to go to work against mission and to elevate our social sector. And that was the impetus behind doing this. I told my team, I know we can make money on transaction fees. I don't think it's right. We're not going to do it. And so we'll find another way. We have.
Completely possible, and that's your corporate culture. Okay, in our last few seconds, let me ask you, tell me about your current investors and tell me about your round you're holding right now.
So we have and have only had one investor, and his name is Brian Acton, the co-founder of WhatsApp. He's a really close friend of mine. I've known him since I was at Stanford. I was a freshman in his dorm when he was a junior, and I replaced him as the dorm geek when he graduated. And so we've remained friends, and he has basically helped us bootstrap, over the last couple of years with his money. And then his latest investment of $500,000 is going toward our seed round. And what he wants us to do is go find other smart investors who can advise us, who can open doors for us. We frankly have spent the last couple of years, making our mistakes, staff mistakes, product mistakes, messaging mistakes, marketing mistakes, and struggling to find our place in the mid-market because the mid-market just didn't get it yet. Now they're getting it. Now we've educated them, and now we have a lot more traction. And so now is a really great time for investors to invest because the risk has been taken, the mistakes have been made. Now we're starting from a clean slate with a stupendous platform, a really great team, some traction, great partnerships. And so we're going to apply the majority of the money raised to engineering to build out and differentiate ourselves even further from the competition. And of course, to engage our business development efforts and partnerships so we can scale as fast as possible.
Sounds perfect. Okay, that's Leo Ramirez, founder of Encast. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
E-high five.
E-high five.
All right.